But Tiktak, I don't have the deatomizer. What am I supposed to do with the Storm King? But Tiktak, I don't have the Santa's Little Helper. How am I ever going to beat the Storm King? Well, don't you worry, there's a new player in town, the Metal Marauder. Well, don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen, they just released a brand new rocket launcher. Well, brand new last week, but I haven't stopped running Storm King for a week and a half. Plus, it was Thanksgiving, so I haven't really gotten around to it. But they released a new rocket launcher that you absolutely, 100%, unequivocally should go and pick up right this second. Pause the video. Pause it. I'll wait. All right, it's paused. I mean, if it's paused, you can't really hear this part. Go to the store. Pick this thing up. This is top tier rocket launching. If that was a sport, this would be the LeBron James. He's still good in sports, right? I have no idea. But it's really, really good. For the Storm King, for any other kind of battle, you need a rocket launcher. This is the one to go. Physical on rocket launchers actually isn't that bad. Since you're shooting them into mass crowds of enemies, doesn't really matter if it's energy or the husk is an element or you're shooting it at a smasher. It really doesn't matter. With base damages as high as this, 353,000, with crits up to 3.1 million, the fact that it's physical is less of a hindrance on a weapon like this. You're not going to be using rocket launchers all the time. I don't care how long you've been playing it. They're barely used. You're just gonna take it out when things go a little south and clear up an area. Now let's talk about the Metal Marauder and why it actually is so good. Stunning or knocking back an enemy reduces your current health by 12.5% and deals 29 to 120% base damage based on percentage of your missing health in a 0.75 tile radius. So all that really means, it's a bunch of text to say, if you ever shoot this rocket launcher, because the impact is almost 40,000, you're guaranteed to proc this perk. Since you're guaranteed to proc it, you're also guaranteed to hit this bonus damage within an AoE tile radius. Now this video is not going to go into super huge loadouts. I tried to make the other one shorter. We're gonna make this one absolutely shorter, but let's talk about the ups and downs of this weapon. Number one, it does, do damage to you. It takes your 12.5% health and reduces that, and it causes an issue, sometimes with survivability. However, this is the one weapon within the set that we're not rolling for its extra 80% damage perk, but we'll get into that in 1 second. Let's just take a look at some of the other stats here. The range on rocket launchers is iffy. It's not actually how far they go, except on the mythic rocket launcher. That range is more like a regular weapons range, where it has extreme damage fall off after whatever number is stated, and usually you can equate that to tiles. So if this hypothetically said 3,000, you would get damage fall off after 3,000. Rocket launchers work a little different. 512 is half a tile, give or take. I think that's the conversion. Somebody corrected me in the video before. I believe it's like a half tile explosion, or perhaps one, maybe. They're on rocket launchers, it's a explosion radius. That's what the range actually means. And at 512, that's pretty good. If we compare it to the Santa's Little Helper, it actually has this same exact one. So I know a lot of people are missing out on this weapon and desperately want it, but the Metal Marauder is available right this second. It has the absolute highest impact, except for the mythic, I believe, in the entire game, sitting at even more than the impact, sitting at 38,000. I don't have a Dam Buster leveled up, but I'm pretty sure it's higher than that, and almost 15,000 higher than the Santa's Little Helper. That really helps it when you're trying to proc this extra perk. All this does is adds extra damage, and if you happen to be running Totally Rocking Out, you'll keep your health up every single time you shoot this, because you will receive the heal. So you'll get the damage done to you, and then you'll heal up because the damage will kill at least 10 enemies, and you'll get Totally Rocking Out to get the heal. Now the thing about the range on this weapon is it feels much larger than 512. Maybe it's a bug, it's just a feeling. I've been playing this game long enough to where I feel like something's a little off, in a good way. The range actually seems more like a tile, and on top of that, this weapon just absolutely obliterates the enemies in front of them. They don't disappear or have their normal death animation. They literally get evaporated off the map. it's quite interesting to see. So that's the base idea behind the rocket launcher. Let's take a look at the rolls, because you'll notice, like I said, it's not really rolled how you would roll this with its entire specialty taken out of the equation. So let's talk about the rolls. Just like all the other black metal weapons, you can only go fire and physical, and that's fine. Like I previously said, I would probably make it physical, but if you want to use it in a fire or a nature mission, feel free to do so. But physical is the way you want to go, in my opinion, based off of the Storm King encounter alone, and if you don't have a deatomizer or Santa's Little Helper. Next up, we have crit rating here. Out of these perks, you could roll it full damage, and it wouldn't be terrible, but crit chance, crit damage is just too good to pass up, especially with perks like Totally Rocking Out. We have a crit damage here. Again, you could maybe do a double reload speed, getting your reload time really low, probably about 1 second, and that's an argument to be made, but I'm keeping it like this. Crit damage here as well. Where it gets a little weird, like I've been mentioning in the video, is here. Instead of adding the 80% bonus damage based on percentage of your missing health, I decided to go with reload speed. The reason I did this is because without this perk here, you're looking at a 3-second long reload, which in my opinion, for the bonus damage gained, that is dependent on your health, so it's not at all times, a 3-second reload is just a net loss on DPS. You can see the DPS is pretty high here at 189,000 damage, which is really, really good for a rocket launcher like this, but a 3-second reload is a little rough. So in my opinion, you should take out that 80% bonus damage and add in a reload speed. That will get you to 0.2 seconds slower than the Santa's Little Helper, which is why the Santa's Little Helper is so good. With an impact of 38,000 damage, or 38,000, it's enough to break the impact on anything really in the game, unless we're talking super high scaling amounts of enemies. If you shoot this into a crowd or 1 or 2 smashers, their impact guard is guaranteed to be broken if they don't die. And if they walk into a trap that can push them or shoot them up in the air or stun them, that effect will be applied to them. Lastly, the damage on this thing is just absurd. It does so much damage. It's just nuts. 3.1 million, 1.5 million, 600,000 on non-crits, physical, elemental, it doesn't matter. This is definitely something you should use if you're looking to use a rocket launcher. Roll it like this so it doesn't have a 3-second reload. Play it on any character you want. I mean, really, it's a rocket launcher. Like I said at the very start of the video, you're only going to be using it during crazy moments anyway. And just real quick to wrap up, I just want to show you what I was using in the footage you saw. The first one is Demolitionist Penny, Faster Explosions, Totally Rocking Out, Resonant Frequency. This is the only time I use this perk if I'm playing around with strictly rocket launchers. The amount of damage that shield soak up, I feel like this is actually worth bringing. Explosive rounds for more AoE, Unearthly Treat, which we have to review this guy because this perk is fantastic. Battle Beat and Sub Wafers. And the second loadout is something that you would basically run for the Storm King if you're playing Link's Cassandra. Hang Time, Totally Rocking Out. You can use Blast from the Past. You do not need this perk to do the insane amount of damage I was doing. It only adds 50%. It's not like that crazy. You're still gonna hit for 2.8 million on a crit, so it's definitely not bad. Subwafers Fumble, Cold to the Touch. This adds 14% damage at all targets. They do not have to be frozen. Once again, this is bugged. Faster Explosion and Unearthly Treat. This works for the Mist Monsters in the Storm King fight. Those are the two builds that I've been running around with this thing, but you can build it on any character you want. I promise it'll work fine. And that's what I got on the Metal Marauder, guys. I still have a ton of stuff to get through, so when I can make them a little quicker, we're going to. I got a really cool video series coming for you guys. I'm gonna do my best to get working on it. If you still need help with the Storm King, I personally run 30 to 40 groups a day. Please join the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/rounded Tiktak. If you're looking for help elsewhere, we have a Discord linked in the description below. We have Sherpas there. We have 5 or 6 people who are constantly running people through. Join the Discord. It's one click away. There's 3,500 members there. And lastly, guys, I make videos like this, trap tunnel guides and weapon breakdowns all the time. If you're new to the channel and you want to support, you can always subscribe, maybe hit the bell. It really does help the channel out. And the one last thing, if you guys are buying V-Bucks or anything like that, you can always use creator code OOTikTok00. It helps me out an absolute metric ton. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. Tiktak out.